bunch of niggas lying by shooting a real bitch. Save face for rapper niggas you chill with. Imagine me giving a fuck, it was your fucking birthday. You and your feelings, I just thought it was another Thursday. Now imagine me cop blocking niggas on some drop shit. I don't want you on a bitch, believe you wouldn't have been invited. And if it wasn't for me, same week you'd have been indicted. You walk in without the talk, I guess that made my friend excited. Now y'all in cahoots. You were pussy boots. You shot a 5'10" bitch with a 22. Talking about bones and tendons like them bullets wasn't pellets. A pussy nigga with a pussy gun in his feelings. Okay, he in the backseat and he calling me a bitch. We all know the shit I could've came back with. He talking about his followers, dollars, and goofy shit. I told him you're not popping, you just on the remix. Now here we are, 2020, 8 months later, and we still ain't got no fucking justice for Breonna Taylor. Any nigga on that nigga's side is a clout chaser, a bitch who ain't fucking or a hoe that he paying. Imagine me. Imagine me entertaining you fucking goofy ass niggas and you fucking goofy ass bitches. Who you taking shots at, goofy ass niggas? Keep your broke ass out of rich bitch business, and they go for you bitches too. That's trying to get big, talking shit. I slide on you thinking that you slick. Oh shit, it's a lot of weak niggas in this bitch. They confused, they hate me, but watch my videos be they dick. Who a snitch? I ain't never went to the police with no names. I thought a bitch that got her chance that's called a loss had something to say. Hey, I be speaking facts, they can handle that. They want me to be the bad guy, let me put my mask on. Shows, I ain't asked to be this motherfucking cold. Still a brightest star, and not just the ones that's up in this clothes. Keep it pimping always, actions do the talking. I know you want the clout, so I ain't saying y'all name. Oh, you out here ballin', huh? Who you get that money from? 10 toes down for whoever get the petty, huh? I be so content cause I know I'm a real bitch. And anything I say, I'm never scared to repeat it. You think I was a killer, how these niggas scared of shit? I pull up one deep, but niggas bring they whole clique. Ay, who you taking shots at, goofy ass bitch? Watching me succeed from your knees sucking dick. I know you want attention from the niggas that I get. I'm a steak, you a side plate, shrimp stay in your place. Real bitch, yeah, I ain't selling fairy tales. FaceTime my nigga while my other nigga laying there. Bitch think she sabotaging something, trying to run and tell. Bitch, I got a bun with my niggas and they all aware, yeah. Who you taking shots at? Shut up with your scary ass. No profile pic, bitch, your mama shouldn't have had. Kick me while I'm down bad, I remember all that. Next nigga send a shot, I'ma send it right back.
I did not, y'all. I did not hear. I never really listened to any of these diss tracks, girl. I did not know that Megan Thee Stallion said I should have locked your ass up that day. Oh God, that aged very well, honey. Okay. All right, you guys. So we are back, honey. First of all, we just got off a whole live stream, girl. It's 5:30 in the morning. Most of the Consciouztv members are probably fucking asleep. Or maybe they're not even getting the notification. So you guys know what I need you guys to do is thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up this video. It is 67 of you guys in the stream right now. I need those likes to help trigger off the notification system so that we can wake it up, honey. Okay, so please thumbs up as you're entering the sanctuary. Happy New Year, happy holidays. God is going to be good to you for 365 days. Please claim it. Also, subscribe if you're new here, honey. Shout out to the 40K. You guys made that happen. We are soaring, and you need to make sure that you have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be king, girl. It's like I'm coming back to you all at 5:30 in the motherfucking morning. Now, we just popped off the new year hella hardcore, girl. We popped off by making our 40K goal the day before the year ended, and then we popped off the first day of the new year with a fucking exclusive, honey. Goddess Dawn speaks herself and Neek at night, honey. Okay, clearing the air, clearing the table. Ah, man, we are off to a wonderful start, girl. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. Please share this stream out. And with no further ado, girl, let's go ahead and push the hell on through. Okay. I ain't even got my intro ready. Hold on. Wait. Where's she at? Oh,
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, and happy Haitian Independence Day on period. Okay, what's going on, Conscious Crew? Hey, y'all. So you guys know where we ended the last discussion with one of our panelists and Conscious Crew members, Andre Carr. She posed an interesting question about reasonable doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, and tackling the question around why so many people felt confused, okay, and felt like they couldn't come to what seems to be an obvious conclusion, okay, which was that Tory Lanez was guilty as fucking charged. Okay, so I'm gonna let Andre lead us into that discussion. I'm gonna let her sound off on her question and let the panelists up. Welcome back to the platform, Andre, Anya, Presley, we got Lux, Auto Magic, and of course Reckless Logic in the building. We also have room for two more, so I'm going to drop the panel link if anybody is interested in coming up. And of course, it doesn't matter which side you're on in the situation. We welcome all opinions and all thoughts. So if you're interested in joining the discussion, please hit the link to join the panel. Now, Andre, hit the link to join the panel. Can you reiterate your question to the panel, and yeah, we can move forward from there.
Sure. My question was in the face of, excuse me, in the face of all the evidence that was there, solid evidence. Um, I'm concerned about the Black community's seemingly inability to discern between reasonable doubt and just a shadow of a doubt. Is and there's seemingly inability to discern what that really means, what reasonable doubt means. Is that doubt that you're having reasonable? Is that possibility that you're saying could happen? Is that reasonable? And what yeah, and what that means. I found that at the core with the misinformation, it was like all of that in a perfect storm of people not understanding what reasonable doubt actually means, what um what what the facts were, how to discern those facts, how to discern a proper reputable news source, fact from fiction. All of that was a perfect storm that came into, do they really understand what reasonable doubt is and how you determine if your doubt is reasonable?
Okay, I think we all know what reasonable doubt is, so I just want, if you're able to kind of give your definition between reasonable doubt and shadow of a doubt, like you were saying,
Mhm.
just so that everyone can answer
Oh,
properly.
the example that I said I gave my kids. Okay, so I was telling them I have a 12-year-old and 14-year-old boys, and they asked me, "Mommy, what is reasonable doubt? What does that mean?" So I was assuming they must have heard, something surrounding the trial. And what I told them was, it's possible that I could walk out my front door and I could walk down the street to the neighborhood pool and I could run into Michael Ealy and Denzel Washington. It is possible in life that that could happen. It is not reasonable for me to leave out my house expecting to walk down to my pool and run into Michael Ealy and Denzel Washington. That's not reasonable. So when you break down what reasonable means, that it just because something is possible or just because there is a doubt in place, is that doubt reasonable in the face of all facts that's there? For instance, when I said about the car, right? When I said you have to also use that with judgment and reason in listening to Sean Kelly's testimony. When he said, I saw a flash, one flash, not all this misinformation, one flash that appeared to me to be closest to the girl. How and it seems as though when she was still in the car. However, at that same time, I saw the little one, the short guy, get out, and I saw him with an object, it appeared to be a gun, and I saw 4 to 5 flashes. Okay, That's a lot of information that you have to say, well, wait a minute. Here are the facts. Forensics got up here and forensics said there's no evidence of a gunshot at all inside this car. There are no bullet holes. There's no GSR. There's nothing. There's no bullet casings. There was not a fire. So though he may have said, so what could have happened? Because he just said he saw that. Well, what could have happened was when you listen to the rest of that, with deduction, what he saw was this man in a in a continuing motion, right?
Okay, you have sense.
Right.
Thank goodness. Okay, I
You,
was wondering.
he saw this man in a continuing motion as he's emerging from this vehicle shooting, right? He so common sense will come into place along with fact. It was very easy to prove that there had not been a gunshot in that car. That does not mean that that witness is not reliable. That doesn't mean that that witness is lying. It does not mean, it means that what he interpreted of what he saw from up high, far off, 4 o'clock in the morning, in the dark, 60 years old with a kid scared, but what he thought he saw may not have been what was actually going on at the time. Doesn't mean that he was lying. It does, but he's saying what he experienced. And all I'm saying is, why can't people understand that because you have evidence to back that up? Say, well, no, he probably thought he saw that, but there wasn't a shot in the car. We've proven there's nothing going on in that car. She didn't shoot that. Well, how did she get, gunshot risk? That's okay. There's the next set of facts. You have an expert that comes up. They start explaining GSR, how GSR works, how it travels, how it settles on people, right? And even if you don't think it's settled on her that way, we also have evidence of her being beaten, her descriptions of her being dragged. Okay, if you know somebody's dragging you by the hair, the first thing you're going to do is grab their hands and try to get their hair, get their hands out your hair from dragging you across the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? That's going to transfer GSR. Okay, so that's my thing. Why was the misinformation? It's as though like people allow themselves to become so confused that then the conspiracy theories can creep in. Well, I can't explain it any other way, so it must be magic. It's that kind of thing. Well, it must, it must have been because, and then they will go to the ends of the earth there because they don't understand the fact. And since they can't understand the fact, instead of trying to learn about the fact, they feel the vacuum. It seems like they start filling the vacuum with the conspiracy.
I feel that.
Because
I,
with Sean Kelly, even though this is what I was telling Conscious a couple months back in some of the messages and in the chat, his story is. I said when y'all hear his story, it's going to be all over the place, and people are going to be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." But when you think about that man's story, and you line it up to the facts, and you line it up to those two girls' story, it then became clear to me. That's why I kept saying the man thought he saw Tory doing this. Excuse me, he thought he saw Meg and Kelsey. But when you align it with the facts of the case, he saw Tory. It's clear as day when you replace when you replace Meg with Tory in that story, Sean Kelly's story 95% aligns up with both of those women. If you just think about, wait a minute, he's far up. Tori is not even. Tori and Kelsey are the same size. Meg looks like the man at this point because she's 5'11", right? But even with that, she cannot be in the car fighting and also on the ground getting shot. So that's what I'm
okay.
saying. Use that logic. Okay, well that can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen. So that was why I was like, okay, I don't understand why it's so hard because the man didn't lie. That does not mean Sean Kelly lied. It just means he had a lot going on. It was dark. But if you take the totality of what everybody's saying, it lines up.
Yeah,
Except it wasn't Meg, it was Tori.
yeah,
With
and I
me and
come.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, with me and his testimony. Me personally, it was more like how can we um without a reason of a doubt, like say that Tory shot the gun based on his testimony, because at one point he saw flashes, one point he
No,
saw a
no, he saw
gun,
one.
one point
No,
he
we're gonna
didn't
we're
see a
gonna talk
gun,
facts. He
one
saw
point
no,
he
no. We're
shot in
gonna
the
talk facts.
air.
We're gonna talk facts. He saw one flash. He didn't see flashes. He saw one
Well,
flash.
he saw one flash, then he saw a gun, then he didn't see a gun, then he placed the gun in Tory's hand, then he shot in the air.
He did not
Well,
say
he
the air.
shot everywhere. He shot everywhere, and then it was just the
So let's
shit.
back that up. Okay, so let's back away everything you said, right? Let's back it up, right? Sean Kelly said he saw a flash, right?
Yeah,
Drag that out. Let's say
he saw
everything. Let's say everything he said, okay? He said he saw a flash closest to the woman.
to
And
Kelsey, right?
okay, but then he also made a point because they kept trying to get him to say something other than what he was saying. He made a
Who was questioning him?
It
Did
started out with
did
the
it help me out?
defense. It started with
The
the defense.
defense.
It started because
So
he was their witness, and so
so
they
what
were
you're saying
asking
right now
him.
is what the defense was saying. Okay,
Okay, right. So the defense was they were trying to drop because their goal was they wanted to hear him say he saw a struggle. He saw him trying to take the gun. He saw the pass. That's what they wanted to hear,
right.
and
Wait, yeah,
he was adamant that that never happened. So when he said I saw the flash closest to the girl, the thing that's what people are cutting it off. The next thing that this man said was, but I never saw her with anything in her hands ever. All I saw was a flash that appeared to be closest to her. But then he also said, but they were all there together. And then he said, and that was at the same time that I saw the little one emerging from the car and outstretched his hand, and he started shooting everywhere. And then he started focusing on Tori's anger, the things Tori was saying, the torrent of abuse, and da 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 da, right? But when you stop it right there, right? Like because that confused you, right? When you stop it and say these flashes, no, you got to be specific. There weren't flashes. There was one flash, but he made sure he was adamant and said, "But I never saw her with anything in her hand."
I got a question
And
for
then,
you.
and just to
I got a
back you
question
up,
for you.
and before
Go.
you ask the question, I just wanted to
Mhm.
just add something more to it. And then just to back her up, the 911 call said that they heard a bunch of screaming and yelling and that a woman was hurt. So I just wanted to back
Right.
her up on that, you know
Exactly.
what I mean?
And his they call it a and spontaneous utterance. Something that happens right in, that's actually admissible in court as actual evidence because it's been shown to be true. Like something happens right then. And so what he said in his spontaneous utterance to 911 is, help, there are men beating women. He never said in that call anywhere that I see two women fighting. He said, help, there are men beating women. And that is exactly what he was seeing at that point. But even if we didn't know that part, right? Like you said, it was one flash, but now we know there was not a shot in that car. So that flash couldn't have been accurate, right? Because there wasn't a shot inside the car.
I was
Forensics
just about to
testified
question
to it.
you. So, like, okay, if he saw a flash, so if somebody shot a gun, he would not hear the gunshot.
Exactly. He did not hear it. He said he saw a flash, which tells you then, right? So now that's two pieces of evidence, right? He never said he made sure to say that too. He said he saw a flash. He didn't hear anything. He saw a flash
So why did he bring that up in the whole testimony? Like that just murks the whole thing. Like why would
because he
you
was an
bring up
honest
you saw a
man.
flash?
Because he was an
What is the
honest.
flash? Jury? A
Oh no,
watch?
no. He was an honest man telling you what he saw, but you have to think about what he's saying, right? First of all, he's a scared British white man, 60 years old, up, and he got some quote unquote in front of his house acting a fool, right? He ain't never
Hmm.
seen none of this before. They cussing, carrying on, fighting, da 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 da. But think about what ended up happening, right? He says, okay, I saw a flash, but I never saw her with anything in her hands. But he said, I saw that flash at the same time that I saw the little guy emerging from the car. And
And
he
also,
stretched his arm out. He outstretched his arm and started shooting everywhere. Now, let's make sure that we say this. He never said in the air. That was something that was added.
Yeah, yeah, that was
He did,
something that was added.
and they asked him. They asked him, Tory's defense lawyers, which is like shooting up in the air like a warning shot. He made sure he said no. He outstretched his arm. He stretched his arm straight out to show him that he was pointing the gun towards Meg, and he was waving it around like back and forth, but never up and down, right and left, not up and down. Okay, but
Mhm.
And
and
also with
she was out
Kelsey's testimony, she said that when the gunshots first went off, she was getting out of
out
the
of the
back
car.
door.
Hmm.
So if Tori's shooting
He's
and
moving.
she's getting
She's
out of the
moving.
back door, then that's
Hmm.
very possible that he saw a flash coming from her because they were very
It was
close
close to
together.
it. And so what she
And it
said
is a
happened
black
was,
door. And it is a black door. So if it's
mhm,
lights outside, then
and
it'll
not just one black door.
that'll glare. That glare when you
Yep,
open the door, that glare from the door will
yep,
flash like you the
and
reflection.
exactly, not just one. Not just one door was open. Both of those doors were open. The passenger side doors on the front and the back were open. So think about it now. You got two short people, okay? He is 5'3", I think they said 5'2", 5'3". Kelsey said she was 4'11". You got two short people getting out of a car, him in the front, her in the back. She's not paying him any attention because he is at this point he's throwing him out the car, right? And her thing was, you're not paying attention when you get out of the car. You ain't paying attention to nobody else is doing shit, especially somebody throwing you out. So I'm trying to get out, right? So he's getting out of the car. She said that's why it took her until the second or third shot to look up and register, like what the f is going on, right? Okay, so now you know that could not have been her. Why? There's no shot in the car. Sean Kelly said he never saw her with a gun. He just saw a flash. And here's the biggest thing. When Sean Kelly was asked how many times did he see Tory shoot, he said, I saw him at least 4 to 5 times. There were only 5 shots total. If Kelsey wanted to shoot Meg, she would have had to run down to the corner store, to the ammo store, and buy some more bullets because the clip was empty when he finished. Even if she wanted to shoot him, she didn't have a bullet to shoot her with. So, about the fight, again, Meg cannot be fighting Kelsey and also being shot.
What was the fight about before the gunshots?
They
I have
that's
a theory on
that's the
that,
thing.
but I
They weren't those two women weren't according to what they say. And if you listen closely to what they say, it makes sense. Because number one, who explain to me who was jealous over Tory? Explain to me
Now I
why.
got no, no. I got a question real quick. I got a question real
Hmm.
quick. So when the flash happened, when they outside,
Hmm.
so remember the call was two women fighting. It wasn't gunshots. So,
Oh, that's not the call. That's not the call. The call was, I see men beating women.
but was that before the gunshots? The call were made before gunshots because he would have
it was
said.
after
Hey,
It was
gunshots.
after the gunshots.
so he made the call after the gunshots.
Because here's why, and he was telling the truth
Wait,
because he beat her twice. Tory beat Kelsey twice after he shot Meg.
Conscious played a bunch of different, not a bunch of, but like two different 911 calls where people called after the gunshots. Just
Hmm. So when she called, they were all coming in around the same exact time, and so what happened was she said everybody is at this point shocked because he is shooting, right? He shot, and you heard it, bam, 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 right? So Meg is falling to the ground. She's over here. She done got shot. Turn around. Kelsey says she's like a deer in the headlights. She said Quan is like, he's like, what's going on? Everybody is like shocked. She said even Tori looked shocked. Okay. But at this point, he is walking towards Meg. Kelsey is flipping out because he just shot her, right? She's on the ground. He still got the gun. Or she said she assumed that he would have still had the gun, right? So she says she goes into protection mode. Okay, I got to get him away from her. She goes and she jumps in front of Meg to protect her because she said she didn't know what he was going to do. He, that's the first time he jumped on him. So then she said, I'm still thinking, Lord, I got to get him away from her. She runs around, and this lines up with what he was saying on Sean Kelly was saying about the fights on both sides of the car. She ran around, she jumped in the driver's seat, and she jerked the truck to make it, she was trying to distract him away from her, get his attention. And she said it worked. But he came around the car, grabbed her by the hair, and drug her out. What did Kelly say he saw? Hair pulling. Drug her out, snatched her ball. She had these ball spots, and she has bruises from head to toe. So he said, It asked her how did it stop? Just exactly what
He
Sean
had
Kelly said.
head to toe.
Quan.
So he said, it asked her how did it stop? Just exactly what Sean Kelly said. Head to toe. Quan. So he said, it asked her how did it stop?
That's
HCTV, you
him.
got to echo.
Kelly
We got a feedback, not necessarily
Oh,
echo, but
it was me. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay, so she said Quan stopped, and this is exactly what Sean Kelly said. He said the big guy came and violently separated them. Okay, so and that's exactly what Kelsey said. She said he had her, he being Tory, had her, and she said, I don't know. But my adrenaline was so high. I don't know if he was hitting me with a closed fist or if he was repeatedly slapping me, right? But he was beating her. She said, I can't say that he was choking me because I could still breathe, but he was pulling her and stuff, right? So Quan violently broke him apart, right? So that was the second time. In all of this time, right? Even in in her,
Okay, so hold on,
she
hold on,
was.
hold on, hold
Mhm,
on. So hold on, Andre. So then,
mhm,
so getting to back to the discussion of why people are confused.
mhm.
One of the reasons is we have to consider what was people's sources.
Exactly.
You know,
Reputable sources versus
yeah, like
non-reputable.
who were they listening to in this whole thing? Because not everybody was looking at the same people and paying
And this,
attention to the same
Which is
thing.
why I was asking him. That's why I stopped saying nope, nope, nope. It was not flashes. It was one because that was the story. Nope, nope, nope. It wasn't in the air. That's not what he said. No, he didn't say this because the narrative that was being told, all you gotta do is change a little bit, and that's all they did. They tweaked it here, tweaked it there, and it made you think something totally different.
okay, well, let me fix my stance because we started out talking about Kelly's
Yeah.
testimony.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Before Kelly's testimony, there's reasonable doubt because the facts in the case are the GSI,
Hmm.
the shell casings, bullet fragments, Megan's foot,
Hmm. And,
um,
and Megan herself, I
And
saw who
all the
shot
body
me,
cam and
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 the
the body
body. Yeah,
cam
and the
footage.
I
body
saw who
cam.
shot me. Hmm.
Right, right. So those are the facts. And when you have the defendant and another person, you have people who are. It seemed like at the beginning there was a fight. There was an altercation. There was confusion because we gotta keep in mind that this trial's been going on for a long time. So a lot of people switch from okay.
Please.
In the beginning, it was she stepped on glass. So a lot of people
So
were
let's stop right there.
reasonable. Hold on,
Perception.
hold on. A lot of people had reasonable doubt that she even got shot from the jump. So a lot of them have started on that side of the fence. That's why a lot of people still can't let go of the fact that they always talk about the glass, because in the
But let's
beginning that's
stop
what they
that
thought.
right there. But hold on, let's stop right there though. That's part of what Conscious was saying about where you get your information from, right? The reason why I stopped you was when you said with the glass. That's because they were being shown on Mammy Radio. They showed that initial thing that said about stepping on the glass. What people weren't thinking at all. That was not the full report. That was one page, the first page, the initial
And
onset,
also,
right?
No, we're
Said
not
with the
talking about
glass.
right now. We're
no,
talking
no.
about I'm talking from the beginning.
Okay,
But go ahead,
That's
Chris.
what I'm talking about.
okay,
I'm
I
talking
can
about from
go
the
ahead.
beginning. I'm
Can I
talking about
continue
from the
really quick?
beginning.
Just because I know that you've been like explaining everything,
I'm
and
sorry. Go
and what
ahead.
he's and what he was saying is like he knows about the body cam and all this stuff. In the body cam, they pulled everyone out of the car at gunpoint, and she said that she was scared that she was gonna get shot.
And a helicopter.
Imagine a police officer pulling you out of the car at gunpoint. Are you going to be like, oh, there's a gun in the car? No. And also, she never went to the media and said, I had glass in my foot. TMZ reported that because TMZ has law enforcement sources. So the law enforcement sources that Megan told that she had glass in her feet after they pulled her out of the car at gunpoint is allegedly
Back.
and said stories still
Nigga.
developing. Everybody hung on to that because they didn't want to believe her.
And
Okay.
not just that too, Tory's people that she because she came out and said this too. TMZ had their law enforcement sources, but Tory's people were already spinning a narrative. They had started
Right, right.
reaching out to
That was my
blogs
next point. That
and
was my
they
next
started,
point.
yeah, they were telling people she had stepped on glass.
for reasonable doubt, because this is another place where
But
reasonable
is
doubt is
that
coming from.
reasonable or not?
No, no, I'm building up
Yeah,
the
gotcha.
case for the reasonable doubt.
Yeah, gotcha.
So there's reasonable doubt that she's even shot, but we have the
Wait, wait, wait,
facts.
wait,
No,
wait.
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. When we get to the trial, well, they don't have the fragments then, but we have the shell casings, we got the police report, we got the cam. So everybody has to agree that she got shot. Like, you have to. You can't refute that. So I don't understand when people bring up the glass point. What I'm saying
You
is,
did though.
I'm bringing it up because I'm explaining to you from a person who is still thinking that Tory Lanez is free. I mean, should not be found guilty, because prior to the leaked audio, I still thought there was more truth that we got from all these testimonies that happened that night, and we will never know what actually happened. But once I heard that audio, I switched. But what I'm saying is, if you think about the common person, they're thinking about all these things like, okay, you listen to Tory's song, then you listen to Meg's song. It's a lot of confusion. And then once you think about, okay, once you have DJ Academics come out and talk about the source that he got from what happened that night a couple months ago, about he was there, Tory was invited. Well, Tory came, Megan invited Tory, he came over there, and they were in the pool, and he was flirting with Kylie, and his source said that Megan got mad, it was an argument, kicked him out the party, which was false, because they didn't get kicked out the first time. They left the first time, then they came back, then got kicked out. So we know that's false. It's just
So
like,
if you switched, why do you think he should be free?
I didn't say he should be free. I
You just
said,
said that.
no, I didn't. I said, I thought. That's why I said I thought he shouldn't be found guilty, but then I switched when I heard the audio from prison, from the
So
jail.
why are you still arguing the other side?
No, I'm not arguing the other side. I'm trying to explain to you how there is reasonable doubt, how there was reasonable doubt. I don't have
So
it right now. I don't see how you have reasonable doubt now after the call is what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
okay, but you said you're trying to build up why there's reasonable doubt. So if you feel like there's no reasonable doubt, why are you still arguing that side? I don't
Because we're
understand.
talking about
Hold on, you
reasonable
guys.
doubt and how somebody can have it, right?
Hold on, you guys. Something has fucked up on my end. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I have an Andre Carr, a Reckless Logic, and I have Anya in the background, but you guys are already up on the screen. And StreamYard did some type of glitch. So I don't know how there are 3 extra people in the green room, for one, because this panel only holds 10 people. There's already 10 of us up here.
We got 11 up here, really.
It's actually more than 10 of us up here.
Yeah.
But there's duplicate, but I think this is a glitch. So let me pause real quick. Let me figure something out real quick. Just everybody just kind of hold up real quick.
Why am I always the 11th person?
Hey, you got to say something. Hey, we got to hear from you. We got to hear from you. I swear.
Oh, okay. So this is what it actually looks like. Oh, Reckless, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Andre, are you there?
Oh my
I'm here.
God.
I'm here.
Okay. And Anya, are you there?
Oh my
I'm
God.
here.
What?
We got 13 people. Wait, hold on. What's this?
No, so it's actually correct now on my end. It's only 6, 7, 8, 9 people on the actual screen. So I think
we got 13 people up here.
no, but if
we have 9.
If
No,
you refresh it,
it's 13 on YouTube thing.
It'll correct itself. Yeah, but you got if you refresh your screen. Okay, so let me drop the links. I think that Yogi Ugly also had tried to hit the link to join. Okay, you guys can continue. I just need to figure all that shit out.
I know, but I'm following it. I'm following what you're saying. Like you're saying, okay, so that was where you got, kind of crossed up because The
It's the
sources that you
testimonies.
were being told, yeah, the sources that what you were being told by the sources were one thing. It didn't align with logic at all, right? It didn't make any
The,
sense to you
the,
logically based on what you've been told, right?
right. If I'm thinking that there was a struggle for the gun
And
or a
it turns
fight,
out it never
if
was,
I'm
right?
trying to make sense I'm trying to make sense of the fact that of the evidence. I'm trying to make sense of a lot of GSR being on Kelsey's hand and the DNA not having Tory's the gun not the firearm not having Tory's DNA on it. I'm trying to make sense of that. And the testimonies are not they're not aligning. So it seems like each person that's testifying is leaving out bits and pieces of information that
Based on where
I
you
find
started from,
critical
right? Right,
for
right,
problem
right.
solving and for me to wrap my mind around what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's creating reasonable doubt for me
For
to
you,
try to charge him for the murder because we can reasonably there's reasonable doubt that
based on what you were being told, right?
right
I
that
get, I
he
get what
is
you're
the
saying.
only person at fault that night.
Okay, so here's my next thing to you, and I promise you, I'm not trying to shade or anything. So please don't take it that way, okay?
No, I'm
Okay.
taking that
So
personal.
okay, so my question to you would be is when you lay out all of the things, all the things that you were being told, right?
Mhm.
For me, I saw holes in the things in those things, right? But could it be that sometimes when we don't want something to be true, we won't critically ask those questions? Could that have possibly been part of it?
Say it again. I got lost for a second.
I'm just saying. Okay, so like if there's something that we don't want to be true, like I I,
Yeah,
I like him.
I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want it to be
And
true, not
so
because
could it been part? So could part of it have been that you didn't critically ask the questions that you may not have wanted those answers to?
I wasn't giving the answers of what happened because okay, it wasn't that I had the idea that there was a struggle for the gun because I just couldn't wrap my mind around Tory just pointing um the gun towards Megan in her direction and firing that gun. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't wrap
Yeah.
my mind around it.
Like
Um
why? Why?
why I'm trying to look for a motive. That's why a lot of the conversations that we have
Mhm.
we're trying to figure out who had the most motive or who would have the most emotion in that moment for them
Okay,
for
so you just said
Okay,
it. You
I
just
have a
said it. You
theory.
just said it. And I'm gonna say this, and I'll be quiet and let you say whatever, Press. I promise. You just said it though. That is why they injected the sex angle, and it was deflection for people because you were looking for you could like you said I can't why would dude do this, right? So you looking for, to you it made sense. Oh yeah, they fighting over this dude, da 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 da, right? You know why? Because no one wanted to stop and think. These two women, they both saying neither one of them studying this dude, right? Well, now you had to be, because yeah, y'all fighting, women fight over men. But these two women are saying, what? Think about it. What
but it was hard
jealous
to do that
woman?
because they both but because
But hold
Megan
on,
lied also.
but
She
she
lied
did,
and said she
but she
didn't
did.
have sex with him. So it's kind of confusing
Even
to
if it didn't
believe one
matter.
thing one person says and then not believe the other thing.
Okay, okay,
That's
but
what the
hold
problem
on.
I had with Kelly's testimony
But hold it right there.
in the
Hold,
beginning.
hold it right there in the road, right there though, about the whether she had sex, what she told her she had sex, not about it, because it might not even matter at that point, right? What I'm saying is, okay, no one stopped to think whether they cared enough about that, right? Because what jealous woman do you know? Okay, I'm jealous, right? That's the story we've been told about Meg, right? She's jealous, right? How many jealous women you know, if a woman gonna walk up to them and tell them, "Hey, can you FaceTime this dude and let me talk to him and then invite him over to my house to be with me?" How many do you know gonna do that? Think about, because that's exactly what happened. That's
Huh?
exactly
Say
what
that
happened.
again.
I have
How
a
many
theory
jealous
about
women
that.
you know? How many jealous women you know? If I'm jealous of this dude, right? I'm territorial. I'm screwing him. My friend don't know I'm screwing him, but I'm still territorial. I'm supposed to be mad, right? How many jealous women you know are going to then this woman gonna walk up to them and tell them to FaceTime that same dude that I'm jealous over, okay?
Who did that? I'm
FaceTime him.
confused on that. I'm trying
Kylie.
to.
That's what Kylie did because Meg did not invite him over on her own. Kylie asked her to. Kylie asked
Right,
her
but
to.
but
She
but but
FaceTimed
that's
him and then
not.
she asked him to invite him over there for her. How
But if
many
you were
jealous women
jealous,
you know
if you were
doing that?
territorial and you did not invite him, like, girl, why you not inviting him? What's up? Like, I keep
It doesn't
asking you to
matter.
invite him. What's up?
It doesn't matter. If
What's
I'm
the problem?
jealous, I'm not fixing to set this chick up because she let me know that's what she want, right? She want me to call him and for him to
So
come over
you're gonna
for
risk
me.
your relationship that you building. I'm just questioning that thought
Because
process.
Absolutely.
You guys,
Yeah,
I
Absolutely.
because we
have a
got,
theory.
because we got to consider, because
if
we got
I'm
to
jealous,
consider here.
if I'm
Hold on,
jealous,
hold on,
I'm
hold
not
on,
gonna
hold
let
on,
her
hold on,
screw him in front of
hold
me.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I want to interject
You've
because
been waiting.
I said this too. We gotta understand. Megan she was between a rock and a hard place,
Yeah.
and she chose both, expecting the best, and because like
But
Otto said, this is a
yeah.
Kardashian cosign.
It's a billionaire.
She's
But
not going.
conscious, like you said,
Hold
she didn't care about him no way.
huh?
She didn't care about him no way.
N-
But
no,
we don't
she
know that
cared
right
about
now.
no.
We
She
don't.
cared.
I get what you're saying. I get what
She
you're
could.
saying.
Yeah, she clearly cared because she gave in. She gave in and said yes.
I don't
And
know what I'm talking
that's
about him. I'm talking about him. I said she didn't care about him no way. And so
oh
yeah.
oh. Of course we didn't.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I'm just saying that Meg, I
I would have invited him too. I ain't studying him no way. Come on over here.
Conscious, I have a theory that'll make all this make sense if I could just say it.
yes.
Okay, my theory is, and y'all roll with me, y'all may think I'm crazy or whatever. My theory is that Megan and Kelsey were together. That explains why Kelsey did not get upset when Tori was flirting with Kylie. That explains why Tori was like, oh, so you defended her? I slept with her. That explains during her whatever testimony thing with the prosecutors, when they asked her, what was your relationship with Megan? Was she your friend? Silent. Were you her employee? Silent. Were you best friends? Silent. No, 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 we were good friends. And then all of a sudden, every time she teared up, she was like, we were a unit. We were a unit. And then also, that explains her expectations from Megan. That makes more sense to me. It makes more sense that Megan and Kelsey were together and they, had they dudes on the side because they knew what they were. That explains why Kelsey actually talked to Tori, because how many times do two people who are wronged by one person in a relationship get together and try to get that person back? Kelsey moves like a bitter ex-girlfriend, and like she got with the guy that her ex-girlfriend was cheating on her with to get her ex-girlfriend back, even though Tori did beat her up. Because how many times have we seen two women or two anybody's fight over somebody that they were cheated on with, get together to get that person back?
Girl,
My
no.
Hold
theory,
That would make
that's my
sense.
theory.
That
That's
would
my
make
theory.
sense if she wasn't on the phone with another dude in the car. That's what I'm saying.
on,
No. Kelsey wasn't studying
That's
him either.
hold on,
They
hold on,
were
hold
down low.
on, hold on,
They
hold on,
were
hold on. It's a lot going on because we got to make it make sense. Because like Andre is about to say, she had another nigga she was talking to, which is the guy she put
yeah.
on the open line in the back seat. She also talking to a nigga in prison, which is who she thought was calling
Yeah.
her, but it was Tory Lanez actually calling from prison. I don't think they were together, but what I can do
I
for
do.
you, Presley, is it wouldn't shock me if Kelsey maybe had more feelings for her
Yeah.
friend than what than what Megan might have known. So, maybe Kelsey loved Meg on a deeper level. Maybe there was some type of romantic sexual attraction she had. And if that's how she felt, she still could have ended up acting like a bitter ex-girlfriend without actually being the actual girlfriend.
But either way
That
though,
and
even
that
if
would
that's
explain why
true,
Tori was calling her bruh, because I don't think that Tori and Kelsey were ever together, in
even
my opinion.
right, that's what I'm saying. Even if that's true, The
Because
story, the narrative that they put up wasn't true.
Hold on. I just want to add this one more part because that theory, I don't believe they were together, but
They were messing around and Kelsey had feelings.
I can't believe that Kelsey had more feelings because of something that Kelsey said in her interview. She said that they both met Tory at the Rock Nation brunch. But she said Meg also told her basically don't fuck with him on that level. Like only basically have a platonic relationship because don't have sex with him. So she made that clear in the interview that Meg did put her on to Tory, but not as like a boo or a bae or a fling or whatever. So I was trying to, when she said that immediately, I was like, well, why would you confront her in the car when Tory outed the fact that he was fucking Meg?
Right.
Like but then I was also confused about that statement, even if I take out the lesbian part and I just stick to the other narrative. Like, so you confronted Meg over a nigga you wasn't supposed to even be fucking with to begin with. Like, right. So really Meg
didn't when it unravels.
So like Meg didn't fuck a nigga behind your back because according to you, Kels, like she didn't even introduce Tory to you as a romantic partner. So why were you even confronting her to begin with? Unless either you got feelings for this woman and you was triggered up because you drunk, and they say a drunk heart speaks, a sober mind, and you in your feelings and now you swerving all in and out the fucking lane, or you don't realize that you just fucked up because he really might have just exposed the both of y'all to each other because he just told Meg he fucking you and you wasn't supposed to be fucking him, and then you now finding out that she been fucking Tory, and that so it just so I don't
like. Wait a minute,
all that come together.
Wait a minute.
But on top of that, remember in the
she said.
Remember in the thing. Remember when she said she got emotional when she said I was waiting in the car and I thought she went back for her slippers. She didn't go back for her slippers. She went back for Tory and she started tearing up.
No, wait a minute. No, hold on. Wait. Even the girl said herself, I wasn't tore up over him. She said, actually, think about it. She said that they were both cursing him out because he was calling them bitches and hoes and this and the other. They were cursing him out. They weren't cussing each other out. They were not mad with each other at any point during that. They were both mad at his ass and they were flaming him up. He got mad twofold. Yes, Meg's mouth is slick. He started the argument talking about her. She finished it. That's one reason him get mad. But here's the second reason. He just realized I am a pass around.
It seems like you don't believe that. It seems like you don't believe that Kelsey and Meg had a fight.
Yeah, because they did. Because understand, Kelsey was asked about
that man.
Hold on. Because understand, Kelsey was asked about the altercation, and she did say she did. Once he said what he said, she did confront Meg about it, and then Meg also fucked around on the stand as well, and in her, I think in her Gayle King interview, or either on the stand, she fucked around and said that they all were fighting at some point. Everybody was arguing.
Exactly.
So it was everybody
they were arguing at him. They were both because in her September interview, Meg's Gayle King and Meg's testimony.
So what caused Meg and Kelsey to fight?
My point.
They didn't fight. They did not fight.
How do you explain that? They fought.
They did not fight.
They did fight.
That man said. Okay, that's why I said. Hold on. That's why I said follow Sean. Let's go back to Sean Kelly's testimony. Let's follow his testimony through, right?
Yeah. He started off saying that he woke up to a bunch of hooting and hollering and two females swinging and banging on each other.
No. What he said was, he said on that phone call, go back. He said, "I see men beating women."
He don't know what he see is dark, and he see a big woman. He don't know what's what. He just waking up. He go outside and see something,
and he see two little people that he thinks are two women.
You
Before,
can't really go off that,
No.
but because what he said,
Hold on,
he
hold on,
tried.
hold on. I gotta straighten this out because it's gonna like tire my brain out. The phone call he made came before the shots. Kelsey and Tory had not even engaged in mutual combat at that point because he called the police before the shots. If we go in with what Kelsey said in her interview, her and Tory's mutual combat didn't take place until after he shot Meg. That's
According
when
to the
him
timestamps, he called after the shots.
before, just so I
Mhm.
could let you guys know, when when people are when people have same sex relationships and they have other people like that, that's common. Where two people pose as best friends and they're actually together
of
sexually
course,
as
yeah.
well, they're okay with them being with other men. So there's no issue with Kelsey calling the guy that she was with. And that's why when they were at the pool party, Kelsey had no issue with Tori flirting with Kylie because she was never with him. And then when they were on the phone, he called her and he was
But
calling
why
her
would they be
bruh
saying
because
that
they
just
were
before?
never
Megan is
together.
very open about being bisexual. She
Yeah,
was even
Oh,
on Carisha's feet,
I know.
flirting
Yes,
around with Carisha. So like,
that's no big
why
she
would
deal,
they?
is,
right?
Yeah,
but it's Kelsey. Even though she's not a famous
Kelsey has said it.
person,
They've all said they are. They've all said they are.
Kelsey hasn't.
Yes, she has.
where?
When?
On the lives and all of the kind of stuff, and they've all been very open
Girl,
about
what?
being fluid.
Not Kelsey. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I think that Kelsey is more that's why Kelsey's moving like a bitter ex-girlfriend because if you listen, every time she teared up, she was like, "Oh, we were supposed to be a unit." And
But even
remember,
if she
and
is
then
moving like that,
and
that
but
still does
can I
not give them
finish?
a reason to be arguing though. They weren't arguing. They were
Yeah,
arguing with him. They were arguing with
that's
him.
that's proving my point.
Did,
That's
did,
what I'm saying. She's like, you are lipstick. And if y'all don't know what lipstick is, it's like a
On a pig,
beard
yeah.
for women.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, who are you? Like, you not really, y'all just, who, like, that's my woman. She's moving like a bitter ex-girlfriend. That's why she is trying to get her back. That's the only way that makes sense.
Okay, but my point is fine, even if she was a bit ex-girlfriend, in this argument, Tori's defense was these two women fighting over me because I let it out the bag that I'm screwing both of them. And they're
No, he
both
never
screaming at the
screwed Kelsey.
he
I
said he
don't
did.
think so.
She did too. He did.
No,
Yeah, she admitted it. She slept with him. They just didn't know. Meg didn't know, but she slept
no,
with him.
I
She
don't
admitted
Um,
it.
think she.
if I may chime in,
Yes.
so it, as it's being repeated, the whole phone call where Sean is like, "Oh, there's men fighting women," you do kind of have to take into account that it's the dead of night, literally the ass
Yeah.
crack of dawn. He's just waking up, and when people argue, typically black people, they tend to have a lot of bass in their voice.
Mhm.
So in his mind, it's probably registering as, oh, there's a bunch of niggas outside just arguing with each other. And he hears that one squeaky little feminine voice and he's like, why is there men arguing with this little woman?
And
right,
not
because
just that,
Megan
and
does
he
not have a soprano.
I agree.
I have a question. Hold on. I have a question. The two 911 calls on Street TV channel. That man is Sean Kelly in a call because I
Who was that?
played
I think
both.
I think it was how many total is it? 4 total? Because I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
that
because
many until the other day.
it was an older
Yeah.
lady and it was a
Uh-huh.
white male, sound like a white male
I'm not
who
sure if
was
that one is him or
on
not.
that one. So hold on. So where is the Sean Kelly call at? Can somebody link that to me? Because I want to go listen to it right now.
I'm sure Street TV has it. I just don't know which in
I'm on,
succession, like I don't know which one
I'm
is
on his
which.
channel now, and I see the one that I
Yeah.
am referring to about the two, but I don't necessarily see the 911 call from Sean Kelly yet.
If it's
So
if it's the
hold
if it is Sean
on.
Kelly, just know he's saying that's one of the things is men beating women. You'll hear that on there. That if that person says that, that's Sean Kelly.
Hold on. But where are you? Where did y'all hear this call at? Like, what are y'all referring to?
I heard Street TV. I heard those, but they were the transcripts that they were talking about the what he said because I saw the transcripts from December
Uh-huh.
2021, and then I read what they were saying happened at this particular in court this time too.
Okay, I'm gonna try to find that report because I need to refresh my brain on what Sean Kelly
You know,
alleged.
I'm open to being wrong, but I'm definitely open to being wrong. But everything I've read and heard so far is the call was after the shots because he remember he said he had his little boy next to him because of the shots.
Okay, if you're gonna go by,
No, I think you got the chronological order backwards. Like he woke up to
Fighting.
verbal,
Call, right? He woke
verbal,
up to
and then
call after shots.
and then it was said that he saw when he got up to see what was going on, it was two women violently beating each other. That's what drove him to call 911. It wasn't over the gunshots. It was over the fighting. The gunshots happened after his call.
So here's why I said you're absolutely right. I was wrong. You're absolutely right. This is why I said it was Tory, right? Because when you listen to Kelsey do her deep dive into it, whatever, both of those doors being open, she at one point was talking about how they looked over, how the height of the doors and this kind of stuff. But her thing was, she said as soon as Meg got out, she walked off. Meg said as soon as she walked off. And when he said he could see the tops of their heads, right? He couldn't really make out, but he could see the tops because he was looking down over him. He could see the tops because those doors were open. That's what I'm saying. He saw with those doors open, looking straight down in the dark, those tops of those heads. He saw a 4'11" girl and a 5'11" dude. A 4'11" girl and 5'3" dude.
no,
Fighting,
because how can Tory, no, how can Meg, no, who you saying fight now?
No,
Meg was in the front seat starting off. She got out the front seat and she
No, I'm
walked.
saying on the other side, when you're looking on the other side, you only seeing two heads. Who heads are you referring to? Kelsey and Megan?
No. I'm saying Kelsey and Tory. Because when those doors flew open, he was throwing them out, remember? He told Quan, pull over, get these bitches out of my car. This is my car. And
But
so
we're forgetting the fact that it was two women. How do you explain two women fighting violently?
that's what I'm trying. That is what I'm explaining to you.
Go ahead, do it again.
Just like when you said the flash earlier.
Wait a minute. I don't believe that he mistaken identity because he would have known that whoever this person was that wasn't a woman was the same person that came out of the vehicle with their arms extended. But he knew that these were two different people to him. So he wouldn't have, because he was clear that he never saw the shorter person until they exited the vehicle with their arms extended after the initial flashes in the car. But if he had already saw the shorter person strapping with Kelsey in the middle of the street or Tory, he already know how Tory Lanez look at this point. So he wouldn't have thought that was somebody separate from the situation because he already done seen Tory all up and through the situation already.
Yes, he would have, because think about it.
Can I say
They
something
were
really
still in
quick?
the car. He said he saw the first flash in the car. Everybody was. He said they were all right there together. Blah 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 blah. Right, and then I saw what I thought was closest to the girl. Da da da. All of this is going on. Now he's coming out of the car. In all of that scenario,
No, that was all one moment.
I know, that's what I'm saying. All of that's together. All that's together. But even in all of that scenario, Meg is still over. She already out. She's out the car and gone at this point. She done walked off at this point.
You guys, we all know that Megan got shot, but what he's saying is the reasonable doubt before she got shot.
That's what he was trying to work through.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to speak to. That's why I'm saying the reasonable doubt before she got shot is because of how Kelsey was moving and how Tory was moving. Kelsey was moving like a bitter ex-girlfriend. That's like literally that's how she moves during her testimony, during everything. She did not get emotional until it came about Meg and how they were supposed to be a unit, and then the way that she answered the prosecutor's question about her relationship.
But that's not what this man said made the reasonable doubt to him. This man said the fight helped with that reasonable doubt. Isn't that what you said, sir?
Hold on. I want to clear it all up. Let's just kind of refresh our brains because I know it's a lot of information to take in.
Yeah.
It's like a lot happened, a lot of whatever. So this is from sportskeeda.com, and it reads, who is Sean Kelly? Witness claims Megan Thee Stallion was beaten up and Tory Lanez was firing everywhere. Okay, so as Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez assault trial continues, a neighbor who was present in the vicinity during the shooting took the witness stand. The neighbor testified that he saw Tory Kelsey Harris and Tory's driver kick and punch Megan as she lay on the ground wounded. Sean Kelly, whose Hollywood Hills residents overlooked the spot where the shooting occurred on July 12th of 2020, took the stand. He witnessed certain scenes of the shooting and called law enforcement about the altercation, like I was saying. This was before the shooting. Although Sean was called as the defense's witness, he weakened Tory's defense suggestion that claimed that Kelsey Harris, Megan Thee Stallion's former assistant, shot Megan. During Sean Kelly's testimony on Tuesday, he testified that he saw muzzle flashes on the night of the assault. However, he was distracted to see who was behind the shooting as he was trying to ensure that his son was all right. As Sean Kelly continued to be questioned by Tory Lanez's defense attorney, George, he claimed that he heard at least 4 or 5 of the shots coming from Tory, whom he described as very angry. Adding to his statement, Sean also said under oath that he saw a girl referring to Kelsey Harris nearest to the muzzle flash. The attorney asked Sean Kelly, quote, whose hand did you see the flashes from first? Sean Kelly responded by saying, the girl, but they were all together. They were very close together. Sean Kelly also focused his testimony on Tory Lanez by claiming that he saw the latter, quote, fire everywhere 4 or 5 times. The former went on to add that he saw Tory Lanez, his driver, and Kelsey Harris beating Megan Thee Stallion. Speaking about Megan, Sean said, quote, she was in a fetal position. To me, it appeared that they were going to throw her into the river. It appeared to me that they were going to KIL her. Kelsey Harris has denied that she shot at authorities connected DNA. Okay, let me scroll back up here because he got the neighborhood talk slide in here.
And why are you doing that? I don't think that they beat her.
Hold on. It's right here. This is from Megan Hunter. Deputy DA Alexander Bott began by asking Kelly about his 911 call. He didn't report a woman shooting. He reported a group beating on a woman. Kelly said the shorter guy was very agitated and had his arms outstretched. He was firing everywhere, Kelly said. Quote, how many shots did you see the short guy shoot? Bott asked 4 or 5. Kelly answered. Bott played the home surveillance audio of the gunshots. Kelly testified about the shorter guy. He was, like I said, shooting. Afterward, the woman on the ground was kicking all the time. She was crawling and stumbling across the road. Bott also got out of Kelly more details about the girl he believes he saw shooting. Quote, I see what appears to be the girl shooting into the car. Then when the shorter guy was with the girl on the ground, he was yelling just a torrent of abuse. Bott asked Kelly what exactly the short guy was saying, telling the witness, there's no censorship in the courtroom. Kelly, a white man with what sounds like a British accent, answered it was all the N-words and F this, F that. Quote, and this was directed at the victim. Bott asked all of them. He was going crazy, was really agitated, Kelly answered. Kelly said the same thing about Tory and Cross. Quote, he was highly agitated, shouting, lots of swearing. Still, Kelly testified again, I believe the girl fired the first shot. Bott asked him, did that seem odd to you that the defense investigator started recording after he'd already made several statements? Kelly answered, this whole thing seems odd to me. Another thing about Kelly, he said his concern that night was his son, not the people outside, and this was traumatic. So he claiming trauma too. Some of what he said jurors may know isn't true. The inside of Escalade was not actually shot up, but his testimony became a real wild card for the defense.
So that's
anybody confused why the defense would use him as a witness?
Because
no, I'm not.
They didn't ask enough questions.
No, they used him as a defense because he put that because his testimony muddied up who was behind that gun. It was all of them. Then I thought I saw Kelsey shoot the gun from inside the vehicle, but then I saw the shorter man with his arms extended. And remember, the defense's only job is to keep beyond a reasonable doubt from occurring. All they have to do is just introduce confused ass people with narratives all over the goddamn place who don't know what the hell they saw in order to combat prosecution, who's trying to emphatically prove that Tory Lanez was behind the gun that shot Meg in the feet.
And so and here's the big kicker, because I believe fully believe, Tory shot her. Here's the big thing: I do not believe that they were beating her. We're gonna throw her in a river. You know what I think they saw? Again, this is another his interpretation. He is keyed up at this point, right? This girl just got shot. She just fell to the ground. She just crawled over to somebody's driveway. He saw this girl rolling around, kicking and screaming in pain on the ground. All of them running over to her, leaning over her. She balled up, she balled up, rolling around, screaming and hollering because she's hurting in pain. She got shot. They're not beating her. She's on the ground rolling around in pain. But what he saw from up high, scared to death. I already heard these gunshots. I done seen this, these fights, all this stuff. That's what he saw.
Yeah, we got that part. It's just the part that I'm just trying to figure out. Like, okay, you'll listen to, you'll take everything that Kelly is saying and apply it, but you won't do the same thing for the other testimonies. Like, because Kelsey did acknowledge that there was a bump between her and Megan.
When did she acknowledge that? She acknowledged that on the stand. On the stand. Not in that testimony. Not in that interview.
That's how we know she's lying.
She was compromising.
That's how we know she's fucking lying. And you got to remember, Meg acknowledged an altercation in her diss track to Kelsey and talked about snatching her chain. Which
she said she got her chain snatched, and she did.
She got her chain snatched.
It. She said that in the interview too. She did get her chain snatched.
Oh well, yeah.
Tory snatched it.
Yes,
Tory snatched it.
No,
and she got her fingernails pulled out too.
But back to the goddamn bump, because I just cannot get that bump out of my head.
That was on the stand.
I can help you. I can look.
But the stand still counts, and it's just weird that
I don't believe a thing she said on the stand.
But she made her defense made sure that she got perjured.
Hold on. The problem with the bump is that admitting that made it worse for her.
And that's why she did. And she did that on purpose. She wanted to.
It didn't help her. So the fact that she said it lets me know that there is truth to it. And then the way she tried to downplay it, because it was clear she was downplaying it.
As mad as that girl was by the end of that interview, anything that would have been, she would have said it.
I think that we all
have to be. Muddying the waters on that thing.
I think that we would not be reasonable to consider, as angry as Kelsey is and as emotional as she is, that there wasn't some type of a physical fight. There's no way that Kelsey contained all of those emotions in the moment where there's liquor and there's shock and there's all this shit and they're all talking hella shit to each other. After all,
that anger, you're right, but that anger wasn't towards.
Hold on. Okay. It brought her and Tory Lanez to blows. It brought Meg and Tory to blows, but it didn't bring Meg and Kelsey to some type of physical contention.
You're right, but think about it. In the interview,
there was a fight, and then you have
hold on, Conscious.
Then you have this eyewitness talking about swinging and banging, which would lead to his 911 call. And then you have Kelsey, ironically, have to address that fight and having to give them something because she knows she can't just all out deny it. See, they didn't even ask her about a fight in the interview, but now they are directing attention to this fight narrative. And she has to say something. And she says the least that she could say about it, which was, there might have been a bump.
Here's the thing.
Might have been a bump.
Wait a minute. Please let me say it. Here's the thing. Yes, she said she had. Okay, then. She said that you said she probably had anger, right? She did, but even the entire time, she made it clear her anger was towards him. She said she didn't get angry with Meg until after all it was over because she felt like she kicked her to the curb. Yes, she had anger towards Meg, not that night.
No, she had anger then. No. She had anger then because once again, you just told us in an interview that Meg basically told you not to even make this nothing more than friendship for Tory, but yet you're confronting her in the vehicle when he says y'all hunger to smashing me. She absolutely directed. She had just as much feelings in a situation as everybody else did. That's the one thing that Kelsey has convinced us of, is that she's a woman of emotion, she's a woman of feelings, and that she has her feelings toward Meg are very, very very strong. Even in the context of Meg getting shot, she still is asserting her emotional experience of Meg. So and with that being the case, I don't believe that everybody else got into a fight that night but Meg and Kelsey. And then you have an eyewitness saying they did. And then you have Kelsey now having to say we bumped. And everybody else fought that night. But
somebody asked a good question. They were like, why would she lie about getting bumped if it
the same reason why Meg would lie about a fight?
No.
And that's why I kept playing. That's why I kept playing. I'm just gonna play it all over again.
I think she lied about the bump because she did want to make it look bad. She was trying to muddy the waters. That's why I think she lied about that. Because she, as pissed off as that girl was by the time that interview was over, if she had fought Meg, she would have said it. If Meg had kicked her in the face,
she wouldn't have said it if she got her ass whooped. No, she wouldn't have said it.
Yes, she would have.
No, she wouldn't have. No, she
Why
wouldn't.
She?
No, she wouldn't.
If she got
That girl had
stomped out,
bruises
she
from
wouldn't have
head
said
to
a
toe.
thing.
That girl had bruises from head to toe.
No.
They know somebody had done whooped her ass.
Yeah.
If you know you got a friend and your friend not gonna talk about the fight and you got beat up, you're not gonna bring up the fight.
The
At
interview
all.
was in September 2020. They weren't friends no more. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
my.
She was
But
pissed off.
you gotta.
If Meg had done something, she would have said it. She hated
But
the girl by then.
but
She would have said it.
if she
But at that
still
point, ain't
had
nobody gonna bring up
any
that fight.
sort of
Hold
feelings,
on. I want y'all to listen to this. Just listen to this because for me, this is what explains why her and Meg are not acknowledging the goddamn fight at the least a damn bump. But listen to this.
Okay.
And this is covered by Fair Use Doctrine. Where's my fair use? All right.
So, I mean, the truth is, in your song, I think you said, I want the niggas, I don't know what the fuck, I want the niggas you got or some shit. We all know that I ain't never wanted none of your niggas. It was really, come to find out, your ass was fucking with a nigga behind my back that I was on first. And that ain't right, because you supposed to be my best friend. We laugh at bitches that do that shit to each other. We not supposed to do that shit to each other.
That's why her and Meg did not want to address that fight, because these were two girls who believe that niggas are not worth a relationship. These are two women who took pride in not letting niggas come in between them. They laughed and mocked other women who were in these type of Jerry Springer ass situations over some tired ass nigga. But now they done found themselves publicly them girls. How embarrassing is that? And then
but she done told
hold on. I'm gonna lay out my argument. These are high value women at this point. 6-figure ass women. They are successful. They are wealthy. They have social equity. They are bad bitches. They don't even need a man, and yet they found themselves fighting over a man that didn't belong to either one of them. That is embarrassing on both of their vaginas. So embarrassing that neither one of them won't even talk about the altercation and the confrontation around the circumstances of what Tory Lanez ejected into the situation. Both of them clearly share shame, and Megan proved my point even more when she publicly said that she's embarrassed, because her man is embarrassed about her sex count and all of this shit even coming up into play. So these are not like women who are like, despite Meg's persona, these like Meg don't get down and is not really that comfortable with whatever her actual sexual life is, even if it is close to what she raps about in her music, that she would not in reality really prefer, people to be knowing whatever she's doing, whether she's fucking the baby, whether she's fucking Lil Baby, whether she's fucking Tory, whether she's fucking Kelsey. Like, she clearly has a conservativeness about herself, and apparently so does Kelsey as well. Meg doesn't even want to acknowledge that there was even a conversation about Tory Lanez, even though Kelsey asserts that in the interview, that this is where shit went left at, and it became a everybody in the SUV debacle. So the fact that Meg is pussy popping away from that, she told Gayle King, I ain't even had shit to do with this. It was the people in the back arguing when your friend jumped end to a fight that was happening between you and Tory, but you didn't have nothing to do with it. But you was just sitting in the front seat peacefully minding your damn business. Like, I don't even like. So
I get what you're saying. I agree with all of that. I agree with that.
So Kelsey has already proven that she has the ability to edit shit because she did that on the stand. She denied the interview. She said she lied in the interview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Meg has already proven that she has the ability to edit shit because she denied intimacy with Tory. She denied that this fight in the SUV even had anything to do with her. She denied there was even a verbal altercation and confrontation between her and Kelsey when Tory Lanez asserted that shit. Like, so now that both of these women done prove that they both have the power and the ability to edit, and then this very interesting thing happens on the stand where she's asked about this fight and she's forced to give them the bare minimum and does just that. And then you have Sean Kelly talking about two people swinging and banging, which led to his 911 call. That's the, and I've said this the whole time, that's the only part that I feel Kelsey and Meg stood together on, was not acknowledging that fight, because neither one of them want to be that girl, and Kelsey would absolutely pussy pop from that fight, because you got to realize his lawyers are pinning this on her and using that as a counter. So of course she's going to absolutely edit the fuck out of this altercation, and Meg is just fucking embarrassed and mad at Tory to the point that to her it don't even fucking matter if me, like, it don't even matter that me and my homegirl fought, because at the end of the day she wasn't the one who shot me, so who gives a fuck? So, you know,
she admitted.
Hold on. Meg is sticking to the end point, which was I was shot, and nigga, you did it. And she'll give a fuck to really get into anything else, because to her it's irrelevant. And Kelsey definitely, once again, she's got this whole crime now being pinned on him as an attempt to get Tory Lanez off. She's not going to acknowledge I was in my feelings. She's not going to acknowledge that me and this girl are strapped up. We got in each other's face. And I'm not saying
they were all drunk.
Hold on. And I'm not saying that the fight was brutal. I don't know the nature of the fight. For all I know, it was just a simple tussling that they just kind of grabbed each other up, pushed each other around. What we do know about Sean Kelly is that he does have the ability to exaggerate what he's observing. He will say, you know, he will put the brutal language on it. He will put his interpretations on what he saw. I thought they were going to throw her in a river. I thought they were going to KILL her. Like, so he's also, you know, projecting onto his observations. So there it is. That's why you have Kelsey and Meg not wanting to acknowledge. Meg don't give a fuck about the fight. Nigga, you shot me. It doesn't matter that I fought Kelsey. And Kelsey's like, nigga, I'm not talking about a fight with Megan, because, nigga, your team trying to say I fought her over you, nigga. So now, like, trying to say that I did this to Meg because I was so pressed about Tory, etc. Like, so that's your motive for why they're going to keep away
denying the fight.
But wait a minute, though. What I'm saying is, okay.
And Meg is very
admitting all kinds of embarrassing stuff. She got multiple jail calls.
Hello. I want to add this one more part too. Meg is going to stand in solidarity with Kelsey about denying that fight, because that also helps her to actually hold who did this accountable to her accountable. If she also doesn't acknowledge that fight, then all the attention goes back to who the fuck it needs to go to. Tory Lanez pulling the trigger. So she ain't gonna add to the narrative. She ain't gonna expound upon the fight, because really Kelsey is indirectly helping her plight against Tory by not acknowledging the goddamn fight.
So basically, Megan is helping herself by going along with the fact that she is not talking about this fight, because not talking about the fight helps Megan.
No, it doesn't.
No, but also I wanted to point it out. I want to point out something, you guys. Kelsey said that her and Megan got close because they bonded after the fact that Kelsey said that her dad died. So Megan and Kelsey got close together because Kelsey's dad died, Megan's dad died at the time that they were in college. And then Tory and Megan got close after her mom died because his mom died as well. I think that she had trauma bonds with both Kelsey and Tori, and they both had little intimate moments. May not have been sex, may have, I don't know. But I think that Tori thought more of the relationship than Megan did, and so did Kelsey. And that's why they got together to team up against her.
I say this. Okay, first of all, I don't think either one of them cared a thing in the world about dude. But Kelsey told all kinds of embarrassing stuff about her. That's what I'm trying to say. This girl
Exactly, because
this
she's
girl
mad.
talked about no, that's my point. So why wouldn't I talk about the fight? I'm talking about multiple dudes from jail calling me. I'm talking about
Because you miss CTV's point. The fight, the Tory's defense is saying that the fight is reasonable doubt for him to get off. So why would she bring up
uh-huh,
the fight and put her and implicate herself into this discussion that she was the one that got the gun because of her emotions? If
because
she
at that
does not
time
fight, she don't have no reason to even get the gun in the first place.
because
So
at the time of that interview, they had not introduced that as his defense. That interview was September 22nd.
that
That
interview, they
September
all have
22nd.
lawyers, and their
Yeah.
lawyers do communicate.
I
And
understand
So
that, but wait a
yeah.
minute.
And now
You
hold
have
on,
to
hold on,
give
hold on,
notice
hold
of
on, hold
what
on,
your
hold on, hold
defense
on, hold on,
is.
hold on,
The
He
hold on,
gave
hold
Tory
on.
notice
lawyer
of his
did
Hold on,
say
defense
something
before
on
the
that.
yeah,
trial.
hold on. Allow me to interject when I need to interject. Not only do lawyers have to trade off discovery, so all parties are informed
exactly.
Hmm.
about trial for one. That is
Right.
litigation. But for two, you gotta remember, Tory Lanez's lawyer have been talking all year long. That's how we knew that they were going to pin this on Kelsey because the lawyer, Tory Lanez's lawyer, had early on in the year had put out the
Hmm.
fact that there was
Hmm.
GHR all over Kelsey, and that
December
Kelsey had
22nd,
all this
December
GHR
2021.
over her and blah 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 blah. So, and Kelsey is a part of social media just like us. She has a lawyer, and so they know the plot at this point.
And that's why
I get
Kelsey
what you're
got up
saying.
on that stand and made sure she said that interview, well, bits and pieces of that interview was false, and that they had to basically she had to give a new testimony, and that her defense, I mean her lawyer, made sure they asked for her not to be brought up on any charges and perjury,
You know why?
because
Because
she had to bring up
wait a
that
minute.
fight
Okay.
because Kelly
Wait.
was
No,
going to
no, no,
come
no,
up
no,
there and say there was a fight. So she
no.
had to say it. If she didn't, she could be brought up in perjury or mess up the case.
Let me hold up. Wait a minute.
She
Okay.
didn't get
Hold on. Wait.
immunity
Let
until
me
the
get it
day
up.
of.
Jesus.
Until the day of. She didn't get immunity
No.
until the day of the trial, so it wasn't a premeditated thing.
But hold on about the immunity. Wait a minute. Do you all not remember they tried to add on charges for the bribes to Tory? It wasn't because they waited too late. Do y'all not remember that? They tried to add more charges onto him at when they got to trial. I don't know if it's first or second day. They tried to add about the bribes in there.
So what's the
After
point on
they
that one?
after they gave Kelsey the immunity, they tried to add the charges to him. That you're not going to add charges to someone unless you have the proof of the bribes or whatever crime.
So
Whatever
what?
crime.
So where did Kelsey introduce any bribery talk in
When you
her new testimony?
hold on, listen. When you before you get immunity, you have to do what's called a proffer. You have to tell them why you need immunity. The judge decides whether that is good enough or whether that warrants you getting immunity. She went into the judge's chambers. They knew what she was proffering. The public doesn't know, but they knew. As soon as she did the proffer, they gave her the immunity. They brought up the charges that they were going to file to him. You can't file charges on someone unless you have the evidence that you feel can prove that they did it. So that's what I'm telling you. Everybody keeps that's what the immunity was for. The immunity was not about a fight. The immunity was not about the immunity was about the bribe because that is obstruction of justice, felony obstruction of justice.
What okay, so are you talking about the bride when they're sitting in the when they're laying on the ground, he like, be quiet, don't say nothing, I give you $1 million?
Oh no, but it wasn't just that. It came out. It was multiple times. It's multiple meetings, multiple times, $1 million. Not only that, it part of it was discussed with his lawyer, Sean Holly. She mentioned that too. Sean Holly told him the exact words to use with her to be able to, what do you want me to do? You want me to invest in your business? Blah 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 blah. And she says, what do you mean? And he told her that these were the words that the lawyer told her to use.
So
When
you
she
think
got
that
there,
Tory wanted her to remove the fight?
no,
Basically his
no,
whole case.
no,
So
no.
what are you saying? Because I'm saying that the
I'm
reason
saying
why
that he
she had to she had to get that immunity, and she had to like
she
add
took
on to
the
her
bride.
testimony
She
is
took the
because
bride. She
what
took the
bride?
bride. She took
What
the
bride?
million.
To do
She
what? So she
to
messed
do
it
what?
up once she talked about the
No,
fight.
no,
Like,
no, no, no. Stop about the fight. She took the bribe to do what she did on the stand. That's why the DA said to the jury in the middle of the trial, Kelsey has been compromised.
what did she do
By
on the stand? What did she do on the
she,
stand?
they asked her, did Tory offer to pay for your lawyer? She said yes. Did Tory pay for your lawyer? I don't know. I don't remember. Did he offer you a bribe? Do I have to answer that? Can I go talk to my lawyer? I want to plead the fifth. No, you have to answer it because you know why? Because that was part of the immunity. She had to testify to that. The judge decides what you can and cannot plead the fifth to. He did not allow her to plead the fifth to that. She had to say yes. She said yes. She wouldn't go into it, but she had to say yes.
So where is
That's
this
why they did
secret?
the proffer.
Where is the secret part of the new charge? Because you said that, you just said
They
that.
tried. They
Hold
tried
on,
to.
one second, one
I'm
second.
telling you.
You no, you said that once she said that her testimony was lying, they asked for the perjury charges and all the for
No, they
her
didn't.
not to
I
be
didn't
brought
say
up
that.
on perjury, and her brought not to be brought up on any
That's not
charges.
what I said.
No, and you said the only reason they could do that is because they had a proffer. They talked and they agreed that yes, because they were going to bring up new charges and it was
No,
going to
that's
be
not what I
bribery.
said. Hold on, that's
No,
not what I said. What I
I can
said was
explain
when
what she
she
said.
got there, when she
Can I?
got there, I can explain myself. When she
So what
got
does
there
that
with her
have to do
lawyer,
with? That
Okay.
doesn't have anything to do with what I was
yes,
saying
it does.
about why she wanted to get immunity. And
Yes,
if
it
you're saying
does.
it's because
Listen,
of the
listen what I'm trying to tell you.
bribery,
Yes, it does.
then
That's why she got the immunity.
why did she say that her first testimony was a lie?
It,
Did she talk about the
I,
bribery
yes,
in
yes,
the interview?
yes. She sure did. She
What did
sure
she say
did.
about it?
She said that when they got there, and her and Quan, it was multiple times when her and Quan got out of jail, they got released together. That Quan told her, Tori's gonna take you, gonna break you off some money. He's gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it. Blah 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 blah. He's gonna be calling you. She thought it was the other dude from jail calling when he called, but it was Tory. Okay, so she already knew about the money. She met him the next day, the very next day, in a hotel room and discussed $1 million. And they asked her, well, that was that the only time? She said, no, it was multiple times. And she talked about more times that he had talked to her about this money. And she said that he told her that his lawyer told him to word it as, how would you want? Do you want me to invest in a business? Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Blah, 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 blah. And she said, why would I want you to invest in my business? And he told her, well, that's how my lawyer told me to word that to keep us both above board. So they said, so it was multiple times. She said, yes, it was in person, on the phone. Yes. So then when
So
she
are you
got there, hold on, when she got there for the trial, she showed up with her attorney. Her attorney asked for immunity. He asked for transactional immunity, which is immunity from anything. Whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I did. Okay. So they go in order to do immunity. This is any kind of immunity, any kind of deal. You have to do what's called a proffer. You got to tell me why you want it. What do you think that if you say something that's going to get you in trouble? Then she had to talk to them. Then she had to go into judges' chambers with just the judge, and she had to spill her guts to the judge because the judge has to know in which of these conversations that you're having on the stand, which ones is it okay for you to take the fifth on, and which one is it not. You can only take the fifth on those items that were about your immunity.
okay? And she got it. She got
You
the
have
immunity
to
and she
tell the truth.
testified. But
You
look,
have to
my
tell the
question
truth.
is. But my question is.
Could I say
What
something
did she
really
say
quick?
different in her
Really
interview
quick.
That's why she's
than
telling
No?
you.
okay, right,
Okay.
right. I'm gonna give you
Got
I
you.
just want to ask her this real quick. What did she what was her stance on the bribery in the interview that was different on the stand? She didn't take it in the interview, so and her testimony was that she didn't take it
Oh no 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 no.
on the stand.
No, she started talking about. You said the difference. She told him about all the different times he offered. Blah 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 blah. Then
Did
she
she
went.
take it? Did she
Hold on.
agree
Wait a
to
minute.
it in the interview?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Then she went and told the judge what actually happened. Then she got on the stand. Okay, so
No, you're
wait a
not
minute. Yes, she
missing.
did.
You missing what I'm
I tell you.
saying.
Let me
You
finish.
weren't
I'm getting
there.
to that
You don't
part.
know what she told the judge, but we
I
know what
know.
she said in the interview, though. And I'm asking you a question on what she said in the
That's what I'm
interview.
trying to
Did
tell you.
she
I'm trying
agree
to tell you. I'm
to
trying to tell you.
the
I'm trying to tell
bribery?
you. I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you. In the interview, she said she didn't. When she got on the stand and then she went and she gave her proffer and she came back, she tried to plead the fifth. He told her she could not.
So
They
she
asked
said
her,
she took the deal on the stand.
she tried to plead this is after she got the deal. Then she got on the stand. She
What did she
tried
say
to
on the stand?
she tried to plead the fifth. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So
He
when the
asked her,
judge told her not to plead the fifth, what did she say?
she said, I don't know, I can't remember.
Okay,
That's
I'm
what
gonna
she
be really
said.
quick.
I don't know, I can't remember.
Answer her.
Okay,
So
what I wanted to say
forever to
really
get
quick.
that
I'm
one
gonna
sentence.
let
Hmm?
me just get in. Oh my gosh, y'all. I just wanted to get in really quick. Remember that that Kelsey asked for immunity on the same day as the trial. The reason why the extra charges that were denied of bribery that were brought against them is because the prosecutors knew about the bribery in the first place. The judge denied them simply because they could have added that on in the first place, which actually supports the theory that Kelsey took the money because they were
Thank you, because they
working
had the
with
proof.
her. Yeah, they were working with her, so they didn't bring the bribery charges against Tory because then that would expose Kelsey for taking the bribery. Once they saw that Kelsey took the bribery and went against them, they tried to bring the bribery up and add it as extra charges. But the judge said you knew about the bribery way before then. They didn't charge it way before then because they were trying to protect Kelsey.
And they
I
said that,
wasn't tripping on
but they
that. I
told her
just
she
wanted
could
her to
after,
tell
could
me what
after.
was said differently so that I could understand
That
what
was
she's
what
saying.
they
I don't
told
have
her.
a problem with believing or changing my stance or what I'm saying because it's my idea based on what I know. Once I know more, I can change it and evolve it.
I
But
agree with
I
you.
don't. I'm just not gonna change it because somebody say that's what it is. I need a reason to change it
So that's what
so
she
I can
got up there and
add on
said.
to it later on. Because
Yeah.
if I just say, oh well, that's what it was, I can't add nothing to that later, and it won't have any foundation. I won't be able to back up or explain to you what I feel. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I'll just be baseless.
I agree
So
with you. So that's the difference
that's why
was,
that's why
yeah.
when you
Yeah.
said when she pled the fifth, I didn't see
Hmm.
anything different for her to have to ask for immunity because if you
Right.
denied that you took the bond, I mean not the bond, you took the bribery in the interview and then you got on stand and denied it. That's not what you talked to the judge about in the judge's chamber. It had to be something else because you said no here and you said no there. So that's you're
Then
not
she
afraid of
said,
perjury here unless it's something else. But when you told me that she said I don't remember,
I don't know, I
that's
don't remember.
invasive movement, so you don't
Exactly.
have to plead. Like you can not be perjured, and you're not pleading the fifth by saying I don't remember.
Exactly. Because she could
So
not say, because
now
he
I
wouldn't allow
can
her to say the
agree
fifth.
with that.
Yeah. He would not allow her to say the fifth.
You
He
don't
told her no.
have
She
to
got up,
plead.
walked
Like
out.
you can
Yeah.
not be
She got up,
perjured,
walked
and
outside.
you're not pleading the
Hmm.
fifth by saying I don't remember. I don't remember. Right. So
It,
now I can
get
agree
what,
with
but
that.
now you get what I'm saying, right? Because she said the immunity was all about the bride.
Like you can not be perjured. See, somebody got a feedback.
But yeah, so now you get what I'm saying.
You guys,
Yeah, it was
everybody
about
Hold
the
on,
else
hold
wants
on,
to
bride.
hold
talk
on, hold on, hold
too.
hold on. Ugly, Yogi, I think you got some feedback, sir, and I think you had muted yourself. Okay.
He probably you listened to it on a laptop.
Oh, what? He done accidentally.
I don't. Right.
That's it.
It was all about the bribe. He would not let her. She tried her best. She got up. She left out the courtroom. Met with her lawyer. Came back, and she said, "I really don't want to answer that." He said, "You have to." And so then she said, "I don't know. I don't remember."
That makes sense.
So
But
it was
still,
all
Hey,
though,
about. It was
it
all
still
about
was
the
a fight.
everybody
bride.
It
else
still was a
wants
fight.
to
You ain't
talk
gonna run from that.
too.
It still was a
Not
fight.
just y'all two. Just to let you know.
We can agree to disagree on that because now that we've argued it down, we realize even if it was or not, it was inconsequential, right?
Y'all two been talking for an hour. I'm sure everybody else wants to talk too, you guys. Just
Yes,
We
saying.
yes,
waiting. I mean, you
group.
can jump in anytime.
It's
It's double dutch.
it's a group.
Go.
It's a group discussion. So yes, let's group.
But I enjoyed the conversation with you though. I did.
I did too. It was fun.
Okay, so what did y'all accomplish? Because I was in and out of this discussion.
I think we came to the conclusion, whether it was or not, now that we've already walked it all the way through, it was inconsequential.
It was we walked. This is what we walked through
Yeah.
in that part right there. The perjury part was about the bribe, and that we're agreeing to disagree about the fight because
Yeah.
I still think she don't believe there was a fight.
I
So
don't,
we
but
just
doesn't
gonna
matter.
let
Right. Yeah,
we
it don't
just
matter.
gonna let that go because she got yeah.
I don't
Okay.
right. To me it's inconsequential anyway. So I mean, I get it.
But it would definitely matter to both Megan and Kelsey because acknowledging that fight would totally placate to this whole narrative that Kelsey shot her and she didn't, and Kelsey is being blamed for this by Tory's lawyers. So it would be in their best interest to not acknowledge this fight. Also, for the fact that it's just embarrassing, but it also would kind of work against them to talk about them strapping, especially since that is one of the strong narratives to get his ass off. But I want to welcome Ugly Yogi to the platform. You are on mute, sir. All right, welcome to the platform, Yogi.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I got a feeling that you're about to stir it on up because you were disagreeing with certain points in the comment section.
Certain points.
Definitely tell us what you think.
Here's how I feel. Like, I see that this room is full of high-minded, good people who have never just been petty for no fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Who's never just said, fuck it. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they're on girl code. Girl code says, listen, she might have shot me because I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my man stabbed me, but I'm not going to put him in jail for it. That Puerto Rican nigga did it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we get down. You know what I mean? So I really feel like, that's what's up. She did it.
But hold on.
But she was a real
it's one thing, though. It's one thing, though, Yogi, to not put your homeboy in jail. But it's a whole other type of situation to pin something somebody didn't do on them.
Listen, if you've ever faked a insurance claim or anything, you blamed it on somebody.
Yeah, but that's an insurance claim.
I mean, I'm
like
saying
a whole crime. That's a crime, cuz. That's a crime. You know what I'm saying? That's this is another, like, it's like,
once
if
again,
it just doesn't make
good people. Yeah, I'm glad to know that there are really good people in this world who don't do fuck shit like the niggas I know. But the niggas I know, they do fuck shit. And this sounds like some fuck shit a nigga like I know what it done. So
and here's the thing about the crime though, it's like Meg didn't even press charges. So like what it's unnecessary to blame Tory just for the hell of it.
Good
and
point.
that's essentially what she would have been doing. It's just blaming him for the
unnecessary. I feel like maybe because I personally, once again, I think that she's petty. I'm petty. You know what I'm saying? If you embarrass me, if you say something that really hits me, something that I'm thinking about 2-3 weeks later, listen, man, I got to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I just feel like, I feel like,
you believe that Meg is petty and dense enough?
I mean, everything you've ever heard about is petty. I mean, doesn't she say that in like a couple of songs and shit? She's just a petty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Petty is what petty does, but she's a real nigga because she didn't fuck over a friend. And that's my rule. You don't fuck friends.
But why did she fuck over her friend? Because her friend don't agree that she wasn't fucked over. Her friend feels totally fucked over.
Yo, Rock Nation gave her a apartment
Her
for
girlfriend.
a year. You give me an apartment for a year, listen, free, and I'm fucked up. Yeah.
Okay, so then what do you make of Sean Kelly put in the shots that led to Megan's injuries in Tory's hands? He put that gun in Tory's hands.
He probably has some, you know what I'm saying? Listen, we all got some dirt. You know what I'm saying? It don't take nothing but a couple of clicks for the DA to find out. You know what I'm saying? I've been pressed. Listen, I've been in some real situations. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, maybe I'm different. Maybe my life, you know what I mean? I see the fucked up side every day. You know what I mean? So I don't take, this is too pretty and nice and neat. You know what I mean?
I have a question to ask you about the fucked up side because I see the fucked up side. You know how Tory called Kelsey and he said, "Oh, can you call Quan and help me get out of this?"
Yo, how do you know that chick number by heart? Whose number you know by heart?
No.
You in
I
jail.
know that's what I'm saying.
I got you. We'll answer that, but just put that out there.
I'm with you on that, Yogi.
Whose number you know by heart? So
That's
he
what
was
I'm
fucking with
saying.
her.
They
Go
were
ahead. Ask your
manipulating
question
her
again.
from jump
Ask your
because
question.
I think that he called Quan first, and then he called Kelsey, making her think that, oh, I called you first. You're my first jail call. Call Quan to get me out of this, knowing that he already called Quan, and that he was like, hey, when Kelsey call you, hey, butter her up, butter her up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's plausible. You know what I mean? That's what I'd have did. Like, listen, she's you know, that's assuming I did it. If I didn't do it, I'd have carried the way
I'm
I
gonna
did.
tell you this. I
I
don't
was
believe
drunk,
that there was a phone call because I believe that it would have been released. If
and that's true.
Tory
That's
had
true.
called Quan, that shit would have been released just like his jailhouse call
Mm-hmm.
to Kelsey and everything else.
Man,
I
listen,
don't think he called Quan.
listen.
But
Um,
that call to Kelsey doesn't help
Or
him at all,
maybe he
though.
did
So
it on the way.
why would he
Here's
call
what
They
I
all
heard.
got at the same
why would
time.
he call her? Why would he call Quan first, get her number, then call her to like?
Yo,
You know what
here's
I'm
what I
saying? Like,
heard.
how does that help him?
Here's what I heard.
Maybe
I
on the
made this
way
call
because they
before.
all got arrested at the
You
same
said you
time.
made those calls
I
before.
made those calls before. Look, man, listen, I was drunk. I'm sorry I called
I
you
said,
a
or
bitch.
maybe.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I blew up the spot between you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I lost you your job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
it's a
lost you your
job.
job, but I kicked you because
Ooh.
she was working for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I lost you your
but
job
Tory
because
didn't know all of that at the time. He didn't know what the fallout
he
was
had
going to
to
be.
know that. If he was fucking on the low, you fucking the
No,
assistant. He's telling
but
you
he
all
didn't know
the
if they were
things.
going to stick together or not. He didn't know that she was going to lose her job at the time.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that one
All right, I'll
because
give you that.
Plus,
I'm just saying,
Quan was
supposedly,
a he was a wild card because
but
Nancy Dillon
wait.
reported that
Wasn't
Quan
he
was
saying
there
that?
going to.
Wasn't she telling her in the thing that, yo, I'm outside the hospital? I'm outside the hospital. You know
COVID.
what I'm saying? Her peoples are telling me she's already outside. He knows she's outside. I'm sure once again, with that same theory that he's not the same one, the only one he's talking to. You know what I'm saying? Okay, his was, my man's gonna put
Well,
me up. Well, his
remember she was
blah, 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 blah.
outside because
Roc Nation
during
got a
that time,
420. Huh?
I said, remember she was outside because during that time it was like the Rona, and people couldn't be guests to people in hospitals during that time. Nobody could be in the hospital with anybody during that time. It was 2020.
Good point. But listen, this is Rock Nation, B. We do what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come
So,
on
you know
now.
what I'm saying?
Come on,
I'm gonna have whoever. I have
Come on
30
now.
people. I'm gonna have my uncle, my grandmother, his homeboys in there. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, listen, I'm a star. I do what I want. So I'm gonna have who I want in there, who makes me
That's not
comfortable, who makes me
reasonable.
feel good, especially since I just been shot.
But all jokes aside, Nancy Dillon reported Quan. This is why you didn't hear from Quan. Tory's lawyer, she asked, well, where's Quan? Da, da, da. I think I sent this to you, Conscious. It's a tweet
Mhm.
Nancy Dillon made. Tory's lawyer told Nancy Dillon that Quan was prepared to testify that Kelsey did not shoot Meg. That's why he didn't get on the stand. He was
Yo,
going to get up there and he was going to say, no, she did not shoot him.
I heard beans are best served cold, but that don't mean shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
but no, that's why they didn't call him. He was
Uh,
there. He was there to be
shit.
called. They chose not to call him. We find out it's because he told them that he was going to testify that Kelsey did not shoot her.
No, it came out also that he didn't testify because he had no legal representation.
But
He
that
showed up to the courthouse buckety
And
naked.
for
right
he
too,
was
but he did
like,
a proper too
well,
though.
he
He
was
did
a,
he did a proper too.
what do you call it? He wasn't even a citizen. So
And like, how were they going to
you
use
know what I'm
him
saying?
when it doesn't seem like he ever had any nobody ever vetted him? There was no deposition. There was no interviews. Like, I mean, they didn't even have time to know what he was going to give, and they
And
didn't even have time to prepare for
so
anything when
right.
it came to him. So,
And that's what that little bit that they got to talk to him, that's what little bit he told them then.
I think Quan showed up because they heard that Justin was going to show up. So Tori just called Quan in just to be like, in case Justin shows up, I got you here.
Quan
Either
showed up
Honestly.
just
either
that.
way, Quan told him he was gonna get on the stand and say that Kelsey did not shoot her. And
I
and
felt
Meg
like
and Tori's lawyer is the one who told the reporter that.
it was
Nancy Dillon.
total intentional. Like, it was totally intentional for his ass to show up on the
So
last
you know, to cancel that
he
subpoena.
didn't have to testify.
He had to
Like,
cancel
that's
the
how he
subpoena.
scooted out of that shit.
He had to cancel the subpoena. You know what I'm saying? You got to warn him until that, you know what I'm saying? Even after the
Yeah,
case.
because they went and got a Justin ass out of the living room.
Yeah, pardon
They
this
put
white man.
SWAT team came and got his
Sure
motherfucking
did.
ass.
Sure did. But that's why that's why they didn't postpone it. They tried. Oh, we just want to try to go. No, it came out. Nancy Dillon tweeted that his lawyer told her that he was prepared to testify that Kelsey did not shoot her.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
she sure did.
I
That's
can't.
why. That's the real reason why Quan didn't make that stand.
I can't. I can't. You know. That's. You know. Hey, checkmate.
I mean, and let's not forget that Tory is the one who said that he didn't want Quan to testify after he called him as a witness.
So Quan was
So
actually going to be a decent nigga. He was actually going to be a decent dude.
no, I don't think Quan was going to be a decent dude. I think that Tory called him as a witness because he thought that Justin was going to be there.
I'm
Because
talking about if what Andre's saying is true, that he came there to pretty much incriminate Tory.
That's why he didn't know. Yeah.
Because if Kelsey didn't pull the trigger, then that don't leave Tory Lanez.
One person, exactly.
No, I think that Quan was coming up there to be a direct like defense against Justin if he showed up. So that's what I think.
Justin was at the FIFA World Cup. They didn't know he was coming.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He actually wasn't. He was back in the States hiding out. He was hiding out, and the reason why he did, and the reason why he didn't, like, they had to.
I knew they got him out the living room, but I thought that was after he came back. He never went.
No, he was scared. His father had spoke out and said his son was scared. His son didn't want to get involved. It was a mess. He didn't feel like just dealing with the rigmarole and all of that. So he was shook.
That's what I'm saying. So
he was right here in the States.
That's why I think Tory called.
And the World Cup had already been over.
That's what I thought. I was like, why is he still over there?
Right.
You know, he was back, but I think that when Tory heard he was back, that he called Quan last minute to directly go against whatever Justin said in case he showed up. And when he saw that Justin didn't show up that day, he was like, "No, I don't need him."
This case ain't even gonna make it to appeal because his lawyers did not preserve, according to all the attorneys that were there. You're supposed to make specific objections so that you can mark the record. His lawyers didn't make those objections.
Like,
there is nothing on the record for them to appeal because his lawyers messed up.
He thought
Pam Esquire. She gave a whole talk about that. There were certain things that he was supposed to object to preserve the record, and that's what he was supposed to say. I want to object, preserve. He didn't do it. So if it's not in the record, you can only appeal stuff that's in the record, and his lawyers didn't do it. So he doesn't even have the things to be able to appeal.
See, no, I don't want to, because I feel like that's giving Tory an excuse saying his lawyer sucked. No, the case sucked. The lawyer was doing everything that he could based on the facts that he had.
His lawyers sucked. They sucked.
No, because the lawyer couldn't defend him properly based on the facts. That's like, I don't know. That's like somebody stealing a cookie out of a cookie jar, and they got a whole bunch of witnesses and sound bites and all this stuff about the person you're supposed to be defending stealing something out of the cookie jar. He sucked because he didn't have any room to lie. He didn't have any room to twist.
But that's not the point of this. But that's not the point of this. He still should have objected. But he still should have, whether he had a good case or not. His job at that point, even okay.
I guess what she's saying is the case was so bad that you can yell objection all you want, but the judge gonna be like sustain. He's just like keep going.
It doesn't matter. It's in the record. You just have to raise it, whether you win the objection or not. You raised.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He did, and he did that. There's like if
not
you look at the tweets,
according to the attorneys, not in the right place.
You keep on citing Nancy Dillon.
No, I said Pam Esquire.
Okay, Pam Esquire.
And
her too.
And Natalie Lawyer Chick. And Nate.
Oh,
and
Natalie
every lawyer
Lawyer
I've
Chick
heard. Every
lawyer for workers type girl.
Check this out. So listen, I just want to thank Consciouztv for letting me up. It's my first stream ever and shit.
Hey,
this is awake. I'm gonna catch y'all later. All my stuff should be somewhere. Be subscribed or I'll be back.
Okay, Yogi. Thank you for being here, bro. And I got your Cash App and subscribe. I'll subscribe to you as well.
Anytime, my friend. See you later.
Enjoy your break.
Okay, hold on. So I want to clear this up, you guys. So people are still confused about just GSR stuff. Okay, so real quick. GSR, gunshot residue, which is the residue that leaves the gun upon it being discharged was found on Kelsey and found on Tory. Okay, that's GSR, gunshot residue. Now, what some of you are confusing in the chat when it comes to the DNA on the firearm, okay? The magazine, the actual clip you load into the gun, did not have Tory Lanez DNA on it, okay? But the actual firearm itself had 4 different DNAs on it, and it had 90% of a male's DNA on it, 5, 2, 3, 4% of female, etc. But because there was so much DNA on the gun, it was inconclusive if Tory Lanez's DNA was there or not. But they did identify, allegedly, the sex of the DNA, that there was female and male DNA on the actual firearm itself. So the magazine itself did not have Tory Lanez's DNA on it. It also didn't have anybody else in that vehicle's DNA on it. It did not. The firearm itself had a lot of DNA on it, which made it inconclusive. And the GSR was located on Tory and both Kelsey. I just wanted to clear that up for the chat, but go ahead.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody in the chat agrees that Tory shot Megan. I think everybody's just like trying to prove a point as to what led up to it. And based on Kelsey's actions before and after the shooting, I still believe that that Kelsey and Meg were together in some kind of way, and Kelsey had more feelings for Meg than Meg had for Kelsey, and Tori had more feelings for Meg than Meg had for Tori. That's my opinion.
Okay. For starters, I want to say that I do believe that there was some kind of altercation between Megan and Kelsey. But I also, in my mind, it kind of plays out funny because the way I see it, Megan got shot. She's laid out on the floor. She thinks she's dying. Her body at this moment is probably in the early stages of fight or flight. She knows who shot her, but since she's laid out on the floor, she doesn't know who's approaching her. She probably sees Kelsey, doesn't really mistake her for Tori, but in her mind, she's like, oh, danger, danger, danger. So that sends her into fight, and she just starts swinging. The fight itself, I do believe that they wouldn't want to bring it up, but at the same time, I would also like to believe that, well, Megan probably didn't mean to swing on me. She was just scared for her life. Granted, she's drunk. She just got shot at. If I was drunk, I got shot at. My feet hurt. I'm laid out and I'm bleeding. I'd be swinging at the first thing that came towards me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but also Kelsey said that she stood in the middle of Megan and Tori fighting him, and then Quan came and took her from the middle of Kelsey and Tori, and that when he did that, Tori was talking to Megan, and while she was sprawled out on the driveway, so she went and jerked the car, and then that's when Tori came around and tried to get her out of jerking the car, and then when he did that, Quan was obviously like, you're not going to beat on this woman. I'm going to grab her. She was in a tug of war between those two. And you know what I'm saying? And then she said that Megan like limped around the car and was saying like, y'all stop. And then they all got in the car. So
I want to also be more Shelly. Your device is not connecting. You have to give StreamYard permission. And speaking of Kelsey, courtesy of Neek at Night, here are the images of those bruises. Okay, Neek at Night posted this to her to her community wall. Okay, the bruises Kelsey alleged came from the altercation with Tory, as you guys can see here. There's all this bruising here down the front shaft of her right leg. There's all this bruising here, all on the upper thigh area. And
Did she get her neck?
if you zone in here, you guys can see all the scratches and wounds she has here. All the abrasions look pretty fresh, like Freddy Krueger slashed away at her. All down to the top of her feet there. And then, of course, you have the infamous bald spot here. You know, that's completely gone. And then you have the side of her hand here at the very bottom, which looks bloody. Something's going on here. Look at that too. I don't know. So yeah, so those are the injuries that were showed at trial. So yeah,
that backs up her tug of war thing. Like, she was getting in a fight with Tory, and then Quan was like, "No, I'm not. I'm taking you away from that." So she went in the car, jerked the car after she said that. Tory went over to Megan while she was sprawled out in the driveway. And then when Tory ran around to get her from, I don't know, messing with his car, then that's when Quan also tried to get her from that fight too. So that kind of explains it. That backs her up on what happened. I mean, come on.
So they're saying that Street TV is live now. All 47 prosecutors, Tory Lanez case. Okay, so he's live now, going over all 47 pieces.
I said, oh, sure. Oh, it was 47 pieces. I didn't even know it was 47 pieces of evidence.
Right.
Yeah, and Tory's team only had 4 pieces, just to let you know.
That's crazy.
God damn it. they wasn't ready at all. Okay, so it's late. We've been here for 2 hours now. This was really good. I'm interested in going to see what Street TV over there doing with this 47 pieces. We can resume this later on today. I encourage you guys to go over to Street TV and get into what he's going over right now. I'm going to turn this on while I'm getting myself together for tonight. I mean, well, for the morning. Let me share his page out really quick so you guys can see where he's at. Okay, Street TV. And if you guys do jump over there, please let him know that Consciouztv, CTV sent ya. Okay, so he's live now. Okay, all 47 pieces. Prosecution exhibits in Tory Lanez assault case against Megan. That's overwhelming. Okay, so let's head on over there. Make sure you subscribe, like, all of that good jazz. I appreciate you all for being here. Yes, this was dope. Thank you, Andre, for
It's Andre, because I want to make sure whoever that was down there talking about my name is Andre, like Andre without the
I've been calling you what, Andre?
See, I like you, so I let you get away with it. But it's Andre. It's like Andre without the
Period. Okay, I'm the only one who can butcher.
That's right. That's right.
Andrew's name. Okay,
I like you.
Yes. Okay.
And what's his name? What was the guy's name that was talking?
Auto Magic.
Yeah. Hey, I really enjoyed it because you stay open. You let me babble, but you actually listen to it and you talk me over to some things you said, and I talked you over some things you said. But I really enjoyed that you actually did listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I like communicating, listening, and talking. I just yelling at
that
people.
word conversation, but I'm gonna use it. Otto is a good conversationalist, and so are you. But the both of y'all can yabba dabba do to legendary levels. So I love it. Sabby, are you here, love?
I'm here, hon.
Okay. Welcome. Happy New Year. And thank you for your generous donation. I wanted to thank you personally. I'm so glad you hit the StreamYard because
of course, honey.
That moved me over to the left. So thank you so much for your donation. Anything you want to say about this case before we wrap up?
Honestly, I came on to answer the question about
Mhm.
why is there reason of doubt or reasonable doubt. And like, if you really think about it, the panel was a perfect example of why I don't have any patience. That's why I don't have kids yet. You know, I'm gonna wait for that, right?
Mhm.
As we all seen, it took like an hour to explain something that you just had to connect the clues to get it. You know what I mean? So like that's why it's there. Like the people who have the energy to explain it, they need to, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And then the other person said, well, you know, I hang around N words, so I'm gonna expect it to go the N word way.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's why we have it. And like I really felt like this trial was a reflection, unfortunately, of us. Like, I don't know if you noticed when we have the excuse me, the black women, black men conversations, the guys who are supporting Tory are usually on the other end. Have you noticed that for
Yeah.
some of your
Mhm.
panelists?
Yeah. Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just feel like it was a metaphor and people were putting their emotions into the trial. So Tory was them. So no matter what you say,
Mhm.
you should be a free man.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Practically. Yep. Yep. That ultimately he should be out here being a father and
Yeah.
entertaining them. Yep. And they use every justification. Oh, Megs is a hoe. Oh, she's a liar. Oh, she said it was glass. But he didn't meant to do it. It wasn't his intention. He was it's just. I mean, it's just like from east to west and north to south. I'm just
And
like,
it's just,
oh, but even
exactly.
if he didn't mean per se to hit her, he still injured her. Rather, it's almost like getting hit. Somebody running you over, and then because they didn't mean to run you over, that there's just going to be no accountability.
Right.
I
Just
must
like,
say it I must say it really felt like a what was she wearing argument
Yes.
the whole time. Oh, she shouldn't have been walking there. Oh, what was she wearing? Oh, she was drinking too much. Like it
You know
I
the
mm-hmm,
don't
funny
know.
thing about the drinking too much thing was everybody this whole Meg's a drunk, Meg's this. Kelsey passed out and went to sleep in a stranger's bed, and Tori shot somebody.
and not only did Tori tell somebody, Tori is arguing the same thing on the jailhouse call about how
I don't
drunk
even
and
remember.
faded,
I've
about how
never been
drunk
that
and faded
drunk.
he was, how
But
two sheets to the wind he was, how he don't even remember what the fuck they were arguing about in the car.
yeah, but everybody, all you've been here for 2.5 years was, oh, Meg is this big drunk, and Meg's this. Meg sounds like she was
Now,
more
could
sober
you
than those other two.
Now, let me tell you this: since everything would have had to come out in discovery, I know even more now why the hell they couldn't put that nigga on the stand. Because how were they going to make him telling
Thank you.
Kelsey how drunk and inebriated he was to the point that his memory is gone?
I
To
don't
now,
even remember why we were
to
arguing.
now he can take the stand and give you a play-by-play of what happened. It wouldn't make sense. He already had fucked up even being able to take the stand because of that jailhouse call. Because he already done admitted he don't even know what the fuck happened.
Exactly.
Silent
And
if
we
she
saw
did six
Megan
bottles or
sobered
not.
up in the ambulance crying. She was sobered
Yeah.
up, crying in the ambulance, trying to hold it together. So who was more sober and could remember the facts? You are.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All we hear about is old Tory or Meg this, Meg that. Kelsey passed out, blackout, drunk in a stranger's bed.
The reason why people were mad at Meg is because Meg was the victim. It's when it's the victim's fault, quote unquote, that's when it's an issue. You passed out, nothing happened, okay, whatever. Remember, he's the black man on
Hmm.
trial. You got to protect him. She was the one who's drunk. She was the one who put her in that circumstance herself. That's what this all was.
Yeah.
But justice served nonetheless. Mr. Leprechaun Lanes is in jail, and I'm sure that 8 other
No.
celebrities I know for sure are also happy about that. August Alsina, Joshua Bennett, Travis Scott, his ex-girlfriend who accused him of abuse.
Conscious.
Hmm?
I know justice is served, but I have a feeling in the back of my mind it will never be solved. In people's heads,
Yeah.
it's always going to be a lingering issue.
Yeah. I think even
There's
for
too much
those,
emotion.
like, because even for me, like, there's nothing in my mind that, like, everything gave me, like, I'm completely convinced that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion. But like you said, it's like all the other stuff that is interesting to look at. You know, like everything that like what the dynamics of this group was prior to all of this, what this relationship was between Kelsey and Meg, what the level of relationship that Kelsey and Tory was in, and just, you know, like, and just all of that, and then just how mad Kelsey is at Meg, and how, you know, I hope at some point that Meg gives a full disclosure, at least about the Kelsey part, because I'm interested to know from her, because we heard now from Kelsey perspective how she felt and what she alleges how she was dealt with after the shooting and being sent back to Texas and all of that stuff, and Megan calling her, asking her, "Do you want me to include you in the statement that she never included her in?" I'm interested to hear what Meg's psychology was and what happened on her end. Like, what was the process? Like, why, like, what is your side of all of that as it relates to Kelsey and the aftermath? But maybe we'll never get that, because I'm sure Meg is like so fucking over it, she wouldn't dare open up the can of worms. Like, at this point, maybe 25 years from now in a tell-all, in a memoir, maybe she'll go there. But right now she's probably so fucking over it and disgusted and just is happy the shit is done and it's just trying to move forward. But yeah, it's very interesting. But let me get up out of here, you guys. Great morning to you guys. Happy 2023. We'll be back later on today. No, thank you. Thank y'all. I love you all to death.
Congratulations on your 40K.
Of course. Thank you. And congratulations to y'all on the 40K, because I couldn't have did this without y'all. So thank y'all for the engagement, for the sharing, for getting the word out. I appreciate you guys. And I love talking to you all and having these group discussions about these topics. It's really amazing. So we are far from over, though, with this conversation. It's going to be a conversation that's definitely going to go on probably as long as the Tupac and Biggie conversation has just went on at this point, you know, for eons. I think that this is going to be something that people are going to be talking about for a while. So yeah, but we will be back today. I'm going to be back live and in color, getting into some things with you guys, and I'm going to go over here to Street TV and look at this 47,000 pieces of damn evidence from the prosecution's end. So I will see you guys tonight. Thank you all so much. Andre, and my Shabby, shout out to you, boo, and God bless you for your donation. You guys make sure to thumbs up the video, hit the subscribe button, all of that good jazz. I got to get in Patreon this week coming up as well, so expect some Patreon lives to my Patreon members. And once again, shout out to Nick at Night for the exclusive earlier. And please go over and check out Street TV. Let them know that CTV sent you. And I will see you all later. Peace.